football fans, I think it's fair to say that all of us have a short list of our favourite players. Even me saying this has probably sparked a few names in your brain. And well, I'm no different. Today, I wanted to recreate my dream team in FIFA career mode. We're creating our club, my club of my favorite dream team players, and seeing what we can do with them. Before I tell you who makes my dream team, let's go run through the objective and the whole point of today's video. So what I have done, I have put the Western Sydney Wanderers, my favorite team here in Australia. I've given enough love to Fulham over the time. It's time for me to show some love to the Wanderers. I have put the Wanderers in the Premier League, and I am using this video as a little bit of practice and an experiment for what I'm going to do come FIFA 22 when the Create a Club feature is in the game. But I am going to be implementing a few of the FIFA 22 Create a Club new features into this video and into this challenge. So I'm giving myself 2 seasons to replicate my dream team. Not only are we giving ourselves 2 seasons to replicate the team itself, we have to win a Premier League title in this time. So if I get relegated in season 1, that's the challenge over. But one of the big features of FIFA 22 Create a Club is the option to either start off as a small club with a great youth academy. There's a whole range of options really, but one of them, and the one we're going to be exploring today, is starting in the Premier League with your Create a Club and having a financial takeover. I've just realized you can't even see it because my face cam's in the way. There we go, 200 million pounds. You can see it now. Also, not that he looks like him in the slightest here, but I have made my manager, Tony Popovic. He's my favorite manager of all time, led the Western Sydney Wanderers to an Asian Champions League title, and now he is back at the Wanderers in this video. Now, as much as I wish it was, the current Western Sydney Wanderers squad is not my idea of a dream team, so let's go and look at the players that we're trying to sign in this video. So I am rolling with a 4-4-2 formation for this video. I think that was the most all-round formation I should say, and the one that fit in with the squad the most. So I have gone for the starting 11 and the substitutes bench as well. And when I was putting together the bench, it was essentially my favorite players that weren't able to fit into the starting 11. And I haven't gone based on who's the best players either. I've gone on my favorite players personally. If I wanted to do a dream team in terms of all time, it would be it would just be like what, Messi, Ronaldo, like all these big name players. But I've gone for sentimental players, my favorite players. That's my version of a dream team. So we're gonna start off on the substitutes bench here with a goalkeeper. It is my second favorite goalkeeper of all time, and it is going to be Gianluigi Buffon. Coming in with our second player on the bench, and well, it's another goalkeeper. I promise this is I'm only having 2 goalkeepers on the bench, which is not normal, but I had to put this guy in there. It is going to be Iker Casillas, a Western Sydney Wanderers legend making the bench. If you know, you know. It is going to be Shinji Ono. He was there from day 1 when the Wanderers were founded back in 2012, and he was an absolute weapon for us. Shinji, that chip against Melbourne victory at Parramatta Stadium, the goal he scored in the Champions League to make it like 5-0 in the group stages. He had some crazy goals and some incredible moments. Helped us get the Premiers played in season 1. Helped us at the start of the Champions League campaign. Shinji Ono is a no-brainer to enter our bench. Another midfielder joining the team here is going to be Tom Cairney, the Fulham club captain at the moment. He's turned into a bit of a hero for the club. In the playoffs, when he scored that goal, was absolutely insane. I just absolutely love Tom Cairney. He's one of the men on the thumbnail of this video, Tim Cahill, arguably one of the greatest Australian footballers ever to play the game. I've met him a few times. He's an absolute A-class bloke. Would love to meet him again. But the man with the corner flag celebration, he's played all over the world. He's an Everton hero. He's a Millwall hero. New York Red Bulls hero, I guess you could say. But Tim Cahill, most importantly, is an Australian hero. It still makes me sad to this day that a kid born and raised in Western Sydney played for Melbourne City instead of Western Sydney. That's never going to sit right. Our first big name, legendary player is going to enter the substitutes. Wait, I've got Buffon and Casillas. What am I talking about? Our first legendary outfield player, it is going to be R9 Ronaldo Nazario, the Brazilian Ronaldo, the striker, the man with the best haircut that I've been so tempted to get so many times when I've been out on the piss. Ronaldo entering the bench. And finally, a name a lot of you guys might not have heard for a long time. It is a defender entering the bench. It is going to be another Australian defender, the former Socceroos captain. It is going to be Lucas Neal, a name that a lot of us haven't heard in a long time. Spent some time at Blackburn, spent some time at West Ham United among other clubs, but Lucas Neal rounds out the bench. So now for a look at the starting 11. Like I said, it is going to be a 4-4-2 formation. We're going to start off with our goalkeeper. It is my favourite player of all time. If you've watched the channel for a while or followed me on Twitter or anything, you would have known this, but our goalkeeper is going to be Mark Schwarzer. Mark Schwarzer is the reason I am a Fulham fan. I was 8 or 9 years old when we qualified for the World Cup in 2006, but that 2005 game against Uruguay was absolutely iconic. Mark Schwarzer, one of the most underrated players in Premier League history. He's won the Premier League at both Chelsea and Leicester City. He was a Fulham legend, played the Europa League final with us, an Australian legend, and my favourite player of all time. In at the left back role, it is going to be another former Fulham player, and I don't think many of you would have been expecting this one, but it is going to be John Arne Riise, the Norwegian absolute redhead beast himself. Played at Liverpool, but I'm a huge fan of his because of his time at Fulham. Release the Kraken! He had an insane long shot and an insane free kick. John Arne Riise, absolutely love this bloke. I wonder to this day what he's getting up to, but John Arne Riise is going to be the left back for our dream team. Into the left centre back role, and it is going to be another I'll say another Premier League legend. It might be a bit of a stretch calling John Arne Riise a Premier League legend. He's a legend in my books, but the centre back, the first centre back in our squad is going to be Nemanja Vidic. I absolutely love the way Vidic play. So hard-headed, so tough. I kind of find it upsetting that I didn't get to watch him. Like, I wasn't... If I was the age I am now and he was in his prime, I would have been absolutely frothing that. I was kind of just getting into football when he was really in his prime, but Nemanja Vidic is entering our dream team. And the right centre-back, I'm digging in here to my German heritage. I have a jersey, a World Cup jersey, with his name on the back, and that is going to be Mats Hummels. Hummels is going to be our right centre-back. Love this guy. Loved him especially during our 2014 World Cup victory. I say our, I'm like a little bit German, but I embrace that because Australia doesn't ever make it out of the group stages besides 2006. And yes, if there's any Italians watching, I'm still hurting about that 15 years later. But it is what it is. Mats Hummels into the dream team. It is going to be another German player here in at the right back role. It is an absolute icon of world football, German football. It is going to be Philipp Lahm. Not much has to be said about Philipp Lahm. And one of the most versatile players in world football. Played at CDM, played right back, could play centre half. But we're going to stick him here at the right back role. Philipp Lahm, similar to Nemanja Vidic, I really wish I got to experience him during his prime. Start to get into it towards the back end, especially with Philipp Lahm. But that means we're going to have to go for a German right back. Moving up to right midfield, this is one that might surprise you guys, especially with the fact that I'm playing him right midfield, but it's actually James Milner. When James Milner was at Aston Villa, and when he first joined Man City, I frothed watching him play. I absolutely loved watching James Milner play. He played mostly on the right midfield, occasionally centre midfield. Nowadays, he's playing bloody left back and all over the shop. Another utility player, but James Milner, just a dead set hard worker, a professional in every aspect of the world and the word, but we're going to put him in the right midfield spot. Coming in at the right centre midfield role, we are going to have a bit of Dutch influence here. It is going to be Edgar Davids, the Dutch centre midfielder. Had the goggles, had the dreads. He was an absolute baller as well. Again, another player that he was like one of the first, he was probably my first original favourite player. When I first started getting into football, like even before Australia qualified for the World Cup, I remember when I was like super young, when he was at Juventus, I believe it was, my first ever Champions League game. I was living with my grandparents at the time, and I remember my grandpa got me up at like 5 in the morning here in Australia. I think I was like kindergarten or year 1 or something like that. And I remember Edgar Davids was just the only thing I remember out that game. I don't remember who Juventus were playing. All I remember is that it was a Champions League game, and I just remember Edgar Davids. I'm pretty sure my first ever jersey was a Juventus Edgar Davids shirt. I just have a weird affinity for Edgar Davids. Take a shot every time I say the word Edgar Davids. All right, in at the left center midfield role, it is not going to be a surprise to any of you. It is my second favorite player of all time, behind Mark Schwarzer, and he's a former teammate of Mark Schwarzer's. It is Clint Dempsey, the American midfielder. Oh my God, I love Clint Dempsey. If anybody, I'm just putting this out in the universe because I've been looking for a long time and I can't find it. If anybody can get the Fulham home jersey from 2010 with Dempsey on the back, I will throw my entire bank account at that. I've been looking at classic football shirts for months, haven't been able to find it yet in my size. Somebody please help me out. But Clint Dempsey, absolutely love this guy. That chip against Juventus in the Europa League knockout rounds is just absolutely iconic. One of the most underrated ballers in Premier League history. And one of the saddest days of my life was when Clint Dempsey transferred to Tottenham. In at the left midfield role though, we are going back to my German roots here, back to my German heritage, and we are going with Lucas Padolski. Podolski's still kicking it. I think he's playing in the Polish league at the moment. But Lucas Padolski was just an absolute king. He was one of my favorite players, especially during that 2014 run. One of the wonder kids back when he was at FC Cologne. It's a bit of a shame he didn't get fully up to the levels that he could have, but he still had a monumental career. That goal for Arsenal in the White Hart Lane game, in the North London derby, I should say, stands out so clearly. Lucas Podolski entering the left midfield role. So that means there are two positions remaining. Two strikers. One of them I think is fairly obvious, and the other one might have you guys guessing. I'm going to reveal the obvious one first. Mitro! Behind Schwarzer and Dempsey, Alexander Mitrovic is my third favorite player of all time. Absolutely love the Serbian. He's still currently playing at Fulham, and I hope he never leaves, goddammit. He's just an absolute stubborn prick. I love Mitro. I wanna meet him so bad. I want him to kick me in the face, honestly. I think my most used image on Twitter has been the one of him eating that pizza after the championship playoff final. But Mitro, an absolute weapon. Let's get him into this dream team. And rounding out the dream team with our final striker, it is going to be another Australian. It is going to be the great Mark Viduka, Leeds legend, Newcastle United legend. Absolutely love this man. Currently in real life, I saw a documentary on him just before COVID last year. I'm pretty sure he's owning a coffee shop, a cafe in Zagreb, in Croatia. He has Croatian heritage. I feel very blessed that he chose to play for Australia rather than the Croatian national team, but I'm pretty sure he has a cafe at the moment in Zagreb. Viduka, another player that is just so damn stubborn, so damn underrated. When he played with that Leeds team with like Harry Kewell, it was just insane. I loved having him in the Australian team, and he's going to be the final player into our dream team. So there we go, fellas. That is the equation put forward. We know what nationalities we need in each area. Let's just go on an absolute spending spree and get these players into this Western Sydney Wanderers club. And number one, survive relegation here in season 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first addition to the dream team. When he's in the game and he's still playing, I may as well go for the actual player. It is Alexander Mitrovic coming across from my favorite English club to my favorite Australian club. This is my absolute dream. But Mitrovic is signing for the Wanderers. We've got him for £9.4 million. And on the very same day, we have got our Clint Dempsey replacement. It is going to be the American defensive midfielder Tyler Adams. I'm looking to convert him to a centre midfielder to fit the team and to fit the formation. But Tyler Adams coming across from Leipzig for £18.9 million. John Onorisa is in the dream team through this player here, Berger Melling. That's a cool ass name, but we are signing the Norwegian left back here for £8.3 million from Nims. So whilst trying to go for our Edgar Davids replacement, I've noticed that Gini Wijnaldum is a free agent in this save. He must not be updated from Liverpool to PSG at the moment. So let's go and sign Wijnaldum, hopefully on a free deal here. Let's get this done. 1 year. I would like longer than that. I want 2 years, considering that's all we're doing this challenge for. They accept that. Come on, that would be a huge, I mean, it means we can spend more money in certain areas. We're essentially paying £2.4 million if you factor in the signing bonus and appearances. And I'm going to activate that. Genie Wijnaldum, welcome to the Western Sydney Wanderers. Same deal here with Mats Hummels as we had with Mitrovic. We had to get him, so we may as well get him. Mats Hummels, a Dream Team member, actually into the Dream Team now. We've signed him from Borussia Dortmund for £64 million. I absolutely love this. Gianluigi Buffon is on the bench, and he's notorious in FIFA 21 for one reason, and that is because if you offer £1 Great British pound, you will generally get it accepted. Is that going to happen again here? Yes, it is. Let's go get the contract sorted. We could have taken the easy route and gone and kept one of the Australian Wanderers strikers as our Mark Viduka, but I actually wanted to get somebody that does resemble him and is a decent Australian striking prospect. It is going to be Jamie McLaren joining us here, the A-League Golden Boot winner, signing from Melbourne City for £5.3 million. Now, if this happened in real life, this is more of a realistic deal than the others in real life. If McLaren joined the Wanderers, now that would be good. And there it is, the £1 transfer has gone through. Another case of, if he's in the game at the moment, why not go for him? Gianluigi Buffon joining our bench here for £1. Although, to be fair, I can't go for my Mark Schwarzer replacement, who I want to go for until season 2. So I might just have Buffon start this season. A huge pickup here for the James Milner replacement. Mason Greenwood is going to join us here in the right-hand side of the midfield. We're in a little bit of a budgeting stage at the moment of this challenge for season 1, but we've got Mason Greenwood in. I was tempted to go in and get James Milner in, but unlike the likes of Mitrovic, Hummels, Buffon, Mason Greenwood is probably a better choice than James Milner than actually going for himself. So we've signed Greenwood to the Dream Team. Nemanja Vidic has joined the club. It is going to be Nikola Milenkovic joining us here for £11.7 million from Fiorentina, the Serbian defender. Nice addition to the side. There wasn't a crazy amount to pick from in terms of Serbian centre-halves, but Milinkovic is the best of the bunch. The great captain, Tom Kearney, has joined this Wanderers Dream Team as well. We've picked him up here for just £5.1 million on the dot. Nice addition to the bench, but one of my favourite players of the past 5 years, that is for sure.
If you don't know him, he's fucking annoying when you first met him.
So I've just been going through and looking at who I could go for an attacking midfielder from Japan, and I've realised I thought Shinji Ono had retired. Shinji Ono at age 40, the king himself, is still in FIFA. We need to get him. He's only £50,000. We need to get Shinji Ono. We have gone down the budget route for our Iker Casillas regen, our Iker Casillas replacement. I can always upgrade further down the line, but when we're on a bit of a budget right now, we have gone and signed Wame, the Spanish goalkeeper from Valencia, for just under £4 million. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, Shinji, oh no. God, it's been a while since I've sung that, but we've signed the king himself, the GOAT, the emperor of Western Sydney. It is Shinji Ono rejoining the Western Sydney Wanderers for £50,000. But there we go, lads. We have put a massive dent into building out this dream team. We've kind of been ripped off because I gave ourselves a £200 million transfer budget, but because the wage budget was so low to begin with, that's cost us about £40 million or so, but we've still brought in a whole bunch of players for the side. Let's go check out the side that has to try surviving relegation in this first season. So in terms of process, or our progress, we've got our Mitrovic, we've got Viduka, we've got Davids, we've got Dempsey, we've got James Milner. We don't have a Philipp Lahm. We of course have Mats Hummels. Technically we have Mark Schwarzer, but I'm still going to look to upgrade and get another Australian goalkeeper instead of Margush. We've got ourselves the Nemanja Vidic, and we've got ourselves the John Anarisa. So in terms of the starting 11, we need to get Padolski and Lam and sort of Schwarzer. Then for the bench, we've got Buffon, we've got Casillas, we've got Shinji Ono, we've got Tom Kearney. Again, technically, we've got Tim Cahill, an Australian midfielder, in James Troisi, but I'll probably look to upgrade that. We definitely don't have Ronaldo Nazario. Sorry, Mitch Duke, but you're not Ronaldo Nazario. I've just put McGowan in for my Lucas Neal. I could have had Wilmering. I mean, Lucas Neal played left back, he played right back, he played centre half. I'll put McGowan in because he's the highest rated, but technically we have that sorted, but obviously still want to upgrade. So really we need to get ourselves an Australian centre half, a Brazilian striker, an Australian centre midfielder, an Australian goalkeeper, a German right back, and a German left midfielder. But step number one is to survive the relegation battle with this side. Let's go see how we're going at the end of the season. Little update here on the 1st of January. We are in the thick of the relegation battle, so I might have to make a few more changes here to the squad just to shore up those extremely weaker positions. But we are in the relegation battle. Liverpool have had a shocking start to the season as well. I'm not too sure what's going on there with them. That's unlike. And Everton having some of the big clubs having stinkers. Maybe they can't handle the fact that the dream team's kicking. All right, so we've had to go extreme budget areas here. This is not what I quite envisioned when I went for a Lucas Padolski modern player, but we have signed Holtman here for £3 million from VFL Bochum. Let's go! Come on! We have survived relegation by 5 points. What a significantly better second half of the season that was, as we finish in 17th position on 34 points. Brighton, Norwich, what the hell happened to Liverpool? We're going to have a massive challenge to make up next season, however. Number one, we need to make the squad eligible. And number two, it seems like the benchmark of the competition, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the benchmark of the competition is Tottenham. They got 93 points. We're going to have to get ourselves eligible to actually win the comp, and then also make ourselves a good enough squad to actually win the comp. So £200 million last year turns into £49 million this year. We're going to have to be really smart with our money. We need to get a good German right back, hopefully push for a decent German left midfielder, and then get those bench positions sorted. However, gone from there, maybe I sell some players and upgrade the starting 11. Also got to get an Australian goalkeeper as well. I just realised I want to upgrade that as well. So we're going to have to make this £50 million work for us. All right, and we have got ourselves our right back. It's a good upgrade from what we had from bloody Ziggy Gordon, but it's Heinrichs. When I was going into this, I was like, oh yeah, I could probably go to Kimmich and then convert him to a right back, and that'd be like the modern day version of Philip Lahm. And then I realised I've got £49 million to work with instead of £200 million. So Heinrichs is going to be the pickup for now. Yeah, but we are going to get our Lucas Neal replacement. It is going to be Miloš Denjak, the great Australian defender, playing over in FC Cologne in this save, but we brought him to the Wanderers, a player that I would love to have in the A-League once again. Have Denjak in there would be absolutely fantastic. But Miloš Denjak, welcome to the Western Sydney Wanderers. There it is, lads. Technically, he's almost making my dream team anyways, but it is the GOAT, Matty Ryan, signing on here, £9.5 million. The modern day Mark Schwarzer, definitely a lot shorter than Mark Schwarzer, but Matt Ryan is an absolute weapon. Absolutely love this guy. He did cost the Wanderers, or not cost them, but he was in that team for the Mariners that won the A-League in our first season. So, Matt Ryan, welcome to the Western Sydney Wanderers, our new starting shotstopper for £9.5 million. Not quite Ronaldo Nazario, but it is a Brazilian striker for the bench nonetheless. It is going to the Brazilian striker Everaldo joining us here from Kashima Antlers in the J-League. £3.85 million. Gotta do what you gotta do. I just want to make sure I had that tick against our name so that we can, if we do manage to win the Premier League, it's actually legal and it's not void. There it is, lads. It's the big one. It is Aaron Moy, once again, a Western Sydney Wanderer. He was one of our first ever signings in the Western Sydney Wanderers club history. Of course, had that famous time in the Premier League with Huddersfield and Brighton. He's been over in the Chinese Super League for the past few years, and we are bringing him to the Western Sydney Wanderers as the modern day Tim Cahill. Definitely a massive addition for the side. £11.9 million. Welcome. Aaron Moy, the bald Pirlo, what a king. So I am pleased to admit that our starting 11 and our bench are officially eligible to complete the challenge. Do I think we're going to complete the challenge? Probably not. We're going to have to rely heavily on our big name players. Wijnaldum, the midfield's going to have to absolutely carry Greenwood. Wijnaldum, Adams, we need your help. The defense needs to step up. I mean, this is going to be a big challenge. The bench is exactly what we're after as well. Denyek, Everaldo, and Moy joining the side this year. Shinji Ono, the GOAT himself, what is now 41 years of age, sitting at a 57 overall. But the squad is officially eligible. Would like to get somebody higher than Holtman, but we've been unable to do that. But let's go and see if my dream team creator club can win the Premier League. Nope. Not even close. But it was fun trying. Thanks for watching. Mitrovic!